Recently, two clients in private coaching both experienced this. One had a narcissist move away from her, and another client moved away from her narcissist. This is how the lives panned out, right? And what I said to both of them was this sentence, the title of this. You know, when they move away, they're officially part of your past. And that, to me, is a profound moment for each of them. It's profound. My narcissist before this channel moved 3 hours away. And it's the moment where you say to yourself, I did, and I know they have, I will never, ever see that person again. I will never see my narcissist again unless he drove 3 hours and knocked on my door, which that's not happening. I how do you say, put the nails in the coffin? That's not going to happen. But you're not going to bump into them. You're not looking for their car in the neighborhood. You're not thinking you might run into them in the church or in the grocery store or in the, okay? These are all things that my clients have said they've experienced and bumped into their narcissist. When I tell you the sigh of relief that they each had, and I experienced it. When I'll just use myself. I told you what happened. Okay, so I'll just, when he moved away, it's like, oh. Now, some of you, if you are still in the throes of the back and forth and they move away or you move away, maybe it's not as much of a relief. Maybe it's not as easy and you were still kind of like hung up and you were hoping to bump into them again. I am here to tell you it's the best thing that could happen to you. It's the best thing that could happen to you for them to be part of your past. And what I mean by that, to extend on that, part of my past means I can now speak to you. These are stories that happened to me, but they're not happening now. It's officially part of my past. It's been 2 years now, over 2 years that he moved away, 3 hours, South Florida. So from that moment on, I said, I'll never see him again. I knew I was never going to see him again because I wasn't going to allow myself to see him again, and that's the message I gave him. So it's part of my past now. And I had to sit with that for a second. And somebody once asked me, a very kind viewer once said to me, way in the beginning, isn't this hard for you, recounting all of this as you are teaching us and giving us this information? Is it hard for you? Are you reliving it? I'm not. I'm never reliving it. It's in my past. The door is shut. I can look at it clinically. I can look at it from a lesson standpoint. I can look at it from the point of view of what can I draw out of that and tell my audience that will help them turn a corner and get over it so that that toxic person can now be in their past. That's how I approach it. When they're in your past, the difference is they're no longer on the forefront of your mind. They may be. I know somebody for whom the person is still in the forefront of their mind, even though they don't even live in the same place. That's because that person is still going through the process of this. You do still have to go through the process of ridding them out of your system. Well, how, Renee? What do you mean? Now I can't even get closure? They moved away. I'll never talk to them again? I'm telling you something. When I say it's the best thing that can happen to you, it's because the non-closure you will only get, meaning you'll never get closure from them anyway, only leads to more frustration. There being a separation in physicality, meaning you moved away or they moved away, shuts the door on the possibility that you can get that frustration. Unless you get on the phone with them and try to talk with them. But if you're taking that as a sign, okay, and you're shutting the door and they've moved or you've moved, they are now in your past. You can let that, I made that choice. He is now in my past. He is now part of my past. He moved away. He's part of my past. If they move away from you, or you move away and there's no ramifications from them coming to your door, begging you not to go, well, that could be manipulation, though, so you can't even go by that. That would be a healthy person's reaction, and you can't respond affirmatively and stay. You follow me? That was fast, I know. So I don't even want to say that. But if there's been a separation in physicality, there's a reason for that. You moved away for something, they moved away for something. Take it as the sign it is. Take it as the sign that it is and go with it. Run with it. Don't look back. Don't think about calling them. Don't think about running into them. You won't. You don't live in the same place anymore. Them being part of your past is a springboard for you to go forward without thought of the negativity that they've infused into your life. Do you know what I'm saying? And I know that my clients loved that sentence. They are now part of your past. If you are dealing right now with a breakup of this toxic nature, say that out loud. It's very empowering. They're part of your past. They're not part of your story anymore. They're just an ex-boyfriend. And you're like, oh, no, it wasn't. It was 30 years. It was 10 years. It was 2 years. And it was heaven and hell. And there's so much more. I know. We've been talking about how much more it is for over 600 videos. And then some shorts as well. I know what it is. But what I'm trying to help you understand and see is, if there is a separation now, don't let it be part of your present day. They cannot be part of your present day. Physically, they're not even around you anymore. You want to give them the power to continue to upset you even though they moved away? Or you live somewhere different? But Renee, how do I shake it? Education, empowerment, reminding yourself it has nothing to do with you, reminding yourself that they're off being dysfunctional again anyway with someone else, and that you wouldn't want that behavior in your life anymore because you've learned that you accept more, or that you need to accept more. Maybe you've learned that you value yourself more. Maybe you've turned a corner and realized you deserve more. All of these reasons are reasons that you can springboard yourself into a new life and start looking that's what I started to do. The day I said, he's just an ex. Like, I don't talk about him in my life. He doesn't even warrant a story. I look at it like I made some bad decisions. I was slumming it for a while, and then I came to my senses. That's the whole story. I use all of the information I learned and the experience that I had and the pain that it was excruciating. And I can channel it in 2 seconds flat when I'm talking about it because I know you're going through it. But I don't live with it daily. It's in my past. I don't talk about him to friends or family or bring him up, or unless it's an incidental story or something and he happened to be present when I'm telling a story regarding circumstances surrounding that. You know what I mean? I want you to start thinking of it that way. They don't have control in your life. They're part of your, but they're just an ex. They're just an ex. They're just an ex. They're an ex-boyfriend. That guy's an ex-boyfriend that I had for a couple of years. I've relegated him to the bin of exes that didn't work out. He's in the same bin as an ex I had from age 23 that didn't work out. He's in the same bin. He's not in a special bin. Ooh, the narcissist gets their own bin. No, they're in my past. That's what you are. And you don't deserve a special spot. And what you deserve to do for yourself is recognize she's right. Okay, that's in my past. I'm still hung up on this person. How am I going to move forward? How am I going to move forward? Keep watching, keep commenting, keep reaching out. You know, private coaching is always available. The details are in my community tab. I absolutely care about your path once the narcissist is out of your life. And what I don't like is when I see people stay so hung up. I want you to see they are part of your past. Unfortunately, we can't just forget about them. And quite frankly, I don't want to. I've learned a lot of valuable lessons from that experience. I don't want to forget 1 ounce of it. Not 1 ounce, even the pain. I want to remember exactly how it felt as a motivation to never even think about entering into a situation that even closely resembles it. I'm not interested. You shouldn't be either. Well, keep the relationship where it is. If you have left and you are trying, even if he hasn't moved away, doesn't have to move away to have him be in your past, but to say to yourself, he's officially part of my past. I don't care if he lives around the corner. You can still do that. He's officially part of my past. In fact, I know someone whose narcissist lives around the corner from her. She's moved on with somebody else. She doesn't let it bother her. He's part of her past. And you can do the same thing. What it takes is not moving on with somebody necessarily, although people do that. People need to do that sometimes to distract themselves from somebody else. Absolutely. The narcissist I had before this channel was to distract me from the person before him. That's the train I talk about, that if you don't get it in line, you'll just repeat. You'll just repeat. And finally, that's why I'm alone now and have been a couple, and I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to proceed with caution and very carefully and take my time and enjoy being single. And I want you to just keep this in mind. If you've made the move already, start thinking of them as in your past. Put them in the X bin. I know there's a lot to unpack with it, and we can do that. You can keep watching. We can work on it, absolutely. But you don't need to involve them. They don't need to know that you're still hurting. They don't need to still get a call from you. They don't need to still have you answer the phone to them. They're part of your past. If you can think that over and over again and let it become where it empowers you, I think you'll find a huge benefit. Have a good weekend, you guys. Thanks for watching. Renee Flamand here. Please hit sub, like, and share, and I will see you Monday.